All right, I'd like to call our regular board meeting to order. So all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor March,
Here.
Trustee Hudson,
Here.
Trustee Maravka, Trustee Richards,
Here.
Trustee Sandberg,
Here.
Trustee Sluse, Trustee Sturba,
Here. All right. Public comments. All right, moving on to consent agenda. We've got the minutes from our January 27th, 2025 regular village board meeting, also approving the minutes of our executive session on the same date. We also have payroll accounts payable, the payroll pay period ending February 1st of $68,556.48. Accounts payable for the period ending February 7th of total of $776,933.74. Out of that general fund, $58,674.68. The motor fuel tax fund, $2,992.31. And the business development district fund of $715,266.75. Any items from the consent agenda trustees would like to pull out of there?
Motion.
If not, a motion by trustee Hudson.
Second.
Second by trustee Sturba.
Trustee Hudson,
Yes.
Trustee Richards.
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg.
Yes.
Trustee Sturba.
Yes.
Staff committee reports. Chief, you got anything?
No, sir.
Nick, you got anything?
Just busy we went to some meetings today with the county and some other folks. I was at trading last week, so I'll be reporting, giving you guys some updates on what I learned, share some facts, so.
Okay. Troy, you got anything other than what's on the agenda?
Just that the Conrad Storm Sewer project will be out to bid this week.
Okay. Did you ever hear back from Aqua about lead service lines in that area?
Yeah, they told me there were none identified in that area,
Okay.
and they were planning on starting their work at North and Conrad at the end of February. But when I talked to NICOR, they still had to finish up some stuff and reconnect the new gas main. So Aqua might push it back a little bit, so I don't have a schedule yet.
Okay. All right. I don't have any comments. We don't have any old business. New business, approved payout for partial to Iroquois Paving Corp. in the amount of $715,266.75 for work completed on the streetscape project. Troy, you got anything on that?
So this bill included a lot of the paving, the landscaping, striping, pavers. That was the majority, extra sidewalk, some earth excavation, and we're still holding 10% retention because they still have the punch list work to do in the spring, so that's over $327,000 we're still holding.
Okay. Questions for Troy? Matt, entertain a motion to pay the bill.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Richards, second by trustee Hudson.
Trustee Hudson,
Yes.
Trustee Richards.
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg,
Yes.
Trustee Sturba.
Yes.
Item E is a resolution authorizing the execution of a ground lease agreement with Campus Communications Group for a 10-foot by 10-foot space located at 918 Wilmington Road, Peatone, Illinois, and granting related easements for placement of utility equipment. So this is with the fiber company that's putting in the lines all over town. They need a spot for their utility, and we've got an agreement that Michael, that it's kind of new. Do you want to kind of go over what the agreement says and if anything was different from the one we got sent
Sure.
Friday.
Yeah, the reason there's a new copy at your seat is because we made real minor changes to section 1B and to the exhibits today. So the last page of the new exhibit shows where they're gonna access this space off of Wilmington Road. But essentially, they're just gonna pour a concrete pad there, and it's gonna help control their fiber network through an underground conduit that runs adjacent to Wilmington Road from the pad. And they just needed a spot within the village to do this. They're continuing their work to put the fiber network throughout the village. This kind of just memorializes their rights to that 10 by 10 foot pad. And they are also offering the village, as part of this lease, a significant amount of bandwidth and data supply as compensation.
And that, it's a gigabit, not gigabyte, I made that mistake, gigabit of information, which is very, very fast. It'll move things very quickly to us, and that runs with the agreement. So as long as we have this agreement and they're able to have that equipment there, the Village Hall Police Station will have access to that. And we've talked to them about, if they run the line south of here, trying to eventually get it to the Public Works, but since they're not running lines down that way yet, it's just gonna be the Village Hall. But this should give us very fast speed on our internet usage.
Okay.
So where they're gonna do that in that space, that's gonna all be flush, nothing sticking up?
No,
There's
this is
gonna be
this
an
is-
equipment
Like a
cabinet in that space.
pedestal or something there?
Yeah.
It's like a cabinet.
Yep. And there's a lot of other utility equipment.
Yeah, there's
in
some
that.
other stuff in that area.
Yeah.
Stations and stuff,
Yeah. Lift stations, telephones,
AT&T, I think.
yeah.
Any other questions?
I don't.
This would be resolution 25-R-02. Need a motion
Motion.
or a second?
Second.
Moved by trustee Richards, second by trustee Sturba.
Trustee Richards?
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Item F, approve authorization of expenditures for leading IT for computer replacements in the amount of $7,000. Wanna go ahead?
So, the village uses Leading IT as our IT consultant, and we pay them a monthly retainer fee. It does not include equipment, so any equipment we purchase, we often work through them, but it's not included in that monthly retainer. And so, since I've been here, we've been reviewing kind of technology and needs, and you know, I'm not gonna say we're gonna hold exactly to this, but best practice, sometimes people say 3 to 5 years, you can be on the higher end of that, but we, as reviewing the various computers and ages in the village, we had several that were very old or past that time, so we had money budgeted in the FY25 budget, so and as the administrator, I have up to $4,999 worth of authority, so I'm asking for $7,000 authority. We're gonna probably be closer to $6,000, but just in case something comes up related to these purchases. But I'll just give you a few examples, like the computer at the front office. I don't have the number of years in front of me, but that's an older computer, and that's pretty critical for our cash processing. The evidence computer in the police department's in the 9-year range. The boardroom computer back there, which processes the videos for these meetings, is very slow and doesn't, it's just because it's old, and then so, then the public works manager, we're gonna get him a new computer, his is dated too. The building department clerical staff up front who does all the permits, and then our village clerk's computer. So, just try to stay on a regular cycle of replacement, because when you, I mean, I have an old computer at home, and it's like, you can use it, yeah, it'll work, but sometimes the security start to lapse, or just the speed gets slower, and then our staff is not as efficient as they can be, because their computers just aren't functioning. They're waiting for things to process and whatnot. So these will take us a leap forward. We'll still probably purchase a few more computers in the FY '26 budget, but trying to keep the cost down. But I think this is a good purchase for all these, and hopefully will make our staff more effective and able to do their jobs better, so.
Questions? Okay. Need a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Moved by trustee Sturba, second by trustee Richard.
Trustee Richards? Yes. Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
All right, on to item G, approve authorization of expenditure for building department training for village staff in the amount of $5,000.
So this is something, with the recent departure of the staff in the building department, we've kind of tried to streamline operations here a little bit better. In the past, we did it the way we're doing it now, which is permits come in, they talk to our staff at the front desk, and they pretty rapidly get sent off to BNF, who's our consultant, and they process permits and do the inspections and things. Through this, we've kind of just identified some things we want to work on as far as skill sets and just process review. And so we contacted BNF because they offer training programs at their campus, but that's up in Elgin, and they don't offer them all the time. They're periodically throughout the year. So at most, we could send 2 people, and even that might be a stretch to send people out of the office for 2 days of training up there to do some of this building department topics. So the other alternative was to have them come here, which is a little more than I would have liked to spend, but by doing it here, we can train everybody pretty much at once. We'll probably pick a day when we usually are slower so that we can have the village hall open but still be doing the training, and if people come in, we'll have to send somebody up to man the desk. But I think this is important just because it's reviewing kind of all the functions of the building department and allowing us to kind of take a look at what we currently do and how we can make improvements. And they cover, zoning, planning, building codes, local ordinances, how to process citizen requests, plan submittals, and over-the-counter permits, because what I've been told, and I've experienced this too, the first contact when somebody's coming in to get a permit, whether it be a resident or a vendor, that often dictates the success of the project. And if we can troubleshoot at that point, we hopefully can make the process smoother. And I think sometimes we just aren't maybe all on the same page or don't have the same skill level. So I look at this also as an opportunity for some team building, because there really is myself, the Stacy village clerk, and 2 staff who are managing all that stuff now. We don't have anybody else. So I think between all of us, we can really review our processes and procedures and hopefully come out with some stronger recommendations. So, like I say, it's a little more than I would have liked to spend, but I think it's the way to get this done quicker and really put improvements in motion right now. So, and since BNF is our vendor, hopefully there's going to be continuity between the training and what they're doing for us. And we intend to, I think, bring some examples to them of questions, specifically how the process is working now, so, and hopefully troubleshoot on some of that.
Yeah, it's quite a bit to take in, actually, and I think it'd make our staff more comfortable, with whatever they learn. Obviously, the code is extensive if you get into the whole code, and you can't expect any of them to know all of that, but just the basics, at least, to answer some questions, and then they're gonna turn it over anyway, so.
Right.
I think it's a great idea.
Well, I personally would like to see it come before the building committee first,
Okay.
so we could have had a presentation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we would have, a little more information.
Yeah.
Really like information.
Right.
I see there's a CU credit in there. Is that gonna be a yearly thing that we have to retrain everybody for, or?
No,
for that, or is that just?
That's what
An
they,
option.
that's what they offer. I mean, I don't think any of our people have requirements to,
Yeah.
Nobody has that, so that's just part of the program. I apologize, I didn't really think about the committee. because we haven't taken everything, a lot of things don't always go to committees, they come to the board, so that's my fault, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, we've had a lot of building committee, you know, with the permits and the enforcement of the ordinance. I just thought it would've been nice to have
Yeah.
a hearing beforehand, that's all.
Well, and for that much money too, I mean, we'd hope that the, whoever's doing the training is really good at it.
Yeah,
You
that's-
know, sometimes you get somebody, you don't learn anything,
Right.
and it's kinda hard to.
Right.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
When would they be planning on doing this, do you think?
I mean, we haven't scheduled a date because I wanted to see if we were gonna get it approved, but, if they're available now before the building season really gets going, so I think now's, they're flexible, I guess, so we're gonna try to schedule it as soon as possible if we can.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can do a presentation in a building meeting, like next week or something like that? Where they can come and tell us everything they're gonna go over?
I mean, I can ask, I mean,
Okay, well, we can table this and bring it back in 2 weeks, and hopefully be able to schedule something in between so you guys can get your questions answered. Moving on to item H, approve authorization of expenditure for trash collectibles for the park catalog for the downtown area, the amount of $5,019. So, these are the same trash cans that are, the one that we have in the pocket park. We had taken this out of the bid, because, we knew that we could get these for less than what they, were gonna be bid out at. A lot of times in those big projects, they add a certain percentage onto, you know, everything that you buy, so it didn't make sense, for us to put it in a project. So our public works manager suggested that we purchase, was it six or?
Six.
Six of them, that would cover the downtown area. Questions?
What's the timeline looking like on, are we gonna have a downtown sound system eventually too to go with this?
You know, we've talked to one vendor, we still haven't gotten quotes on anything, so I mean, that's something that we need to work on as well, for sure.
I think it'd be a great help. I mean, obviously we have the farmer's market,
Mhm.
Christmas in the village, you know, obviously car show. We'd like to get some more events down here.
Yeah.
I know we got a dozen temporary garbage cans that I had come across and
Mhm.
that we throw out for events,
Right.
you know. But I'd like to see it sometime with timeline on the sound system.
Okay. Definitely get working on that.
So
Any
this-
other discussion?
This amount that's here, the 5,019, that covers six. I'll make a motion to approve.
I second it.
Been moved by trustee Hudson, second by trustee Richards.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Richards? Yes. Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
All right, questions of the press? Any other correspondence from the board?
I just have a quick clarification.
Oh, yeah.
I know you asked me about the lead service lines on Conrad.
Yeah.
So we said there were no known lead service lines, but there's a couple where it's unknown. So they're gonna do some potholing to make sure they're not lead.
Okay, good.
Just so if you see that.
Perfect, thank you. Anything else? Entertain a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by trustee Sturba, second by trustee Richards. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, have a good evening.